You're listening to the Toast Breakfast Show with Nick Errol and Brittany. This is Up FM 107.5.
This is Up FM 107.5, Nick with you. 26 minutes past 9. Right now we're talking to Sandra Kirby, or should I say Sandra Kirby, from Arthritis New Zealand. How you doing?
Good morning, Nick. I'm doing well, and you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Now, we were chatting on air earlier. We found something that says, cracking your knuckles and whatnot isn't actually all that bad for you. And then we thought, well, no, let's call someone who knows a little bit more about it to give us a little insider's point of view on is it really that bad, or is it actually something we need to think about when people are cracking their knuckles and whatnot?
I think when people are cracking their knuckles, provided it's not causing them pain, at the moment there's no indications that will lead to arthritis. But for the 500,000 people who live with arthritis in New Zealand, then pain is something that they deal with all of the time.
Yeah.
So arthritis is something that's incredibly common. And although people often think of it as a young person's disease, about 250,000 people aged between 15 and 60 in New Zealand have arthritis.
And so what exactly is arthritis?
Well, what exactly it is a collection of about 140 different conditions, some of which people don't even think of as arthritis. Gout in New Zealand is incredibly common, particularly among Māori and Pacific people, and that's a form of arthritis. So it's any collection of diseases, symptoms that affect your joints. The thing that's common about all of them is pain and joint degeneration. It might be osteoarthritis, it might be rheumatoid arthritis. They're the ones that people tend to know. But other diseases like lupus and ankylosing spondylitis, it affects joints in your body, usually causes stiffness, causes pain, starts to limit kind of activities that people are doing. So we have 20-year-olds that talk to us about how hard it is to brush your hair.
Oh.
Brushing your hair means lifting a shoulder up, twisting an elbow, twisting a shoulder joint,
Wow.
moving your hand. So those kind of activities become very painful.
And so how do you get arthritis? Is it a genetic condition that you get hereditary, or like something you just pick up from not looking after your joints properly? Or?
Well, some of all of the above. So it looks like something like rheumatoid arthritis and some of those inflammatory conditions probably have genetic links. Not necessarily that somebody in your family had rheumatoid arthritis, but they may have had other similar kind of diseases like Crohn's disease.
Yeah.
So it looks like there may be some genetic component. For people, in particular in a country like New Zealand where we play a lot of sport, osteoarthritis tends to crop in where people have had injuries. So if you've had a skiing accident and broken your ankle, the chances of getting osteoarthritis in that ankle are much higher. If you've been a rugby player or a netball player, then knees and hips tend to develop osteoarthritis quite a bit earlier than people who have been non-sports players.
I played a lot of hockey and I have problems with my wrists and knees, and now you're starting to freak me out. I feel like I want to go get them checked. Make sure
Getting it checked is very sensible. And I think that's the point that in New Zealand, because people think, I don't get arthritis till I'm a grandparent, until I'm my grandmother's age, then if you've got pain, if you've got persistent pain, get it checked, because like everything else, we may not be able to cure arthritis yet, but we can. The earlier people do things differently, then the better their long-term outcomes are. So can't cure it, can manage it, can start to do some things a little bit differently and make it easier on your body long term.
Because Brittany was saying just before that she did a lot of karate also, and she was talking about her knuckles and whatnot and how they're quite big. Do the joints get inflamed and whatnot, or how?
Inflammation is, in some forms of arthritis, is quite noticeable, and that's where, when people think about their grandparents, then you can sort of think about maybe the knuckles in their fingers, or that top joint in some fingers developing the kind of bony outcrop. That's one form of arthritis. But certainly people will see things like swollen knees and feel the heat. So when you're one of your joints, like your knees or your ankles, radiating heat, then that generally means there's something happening inside it.
Because my grandmother has arthritis in her wrist, and she wears one of those iron bracelets or copper or something.
Copper bracelet?
Yeah. What are other ways we can try and combat arthritis or not?
I think what you're bringing up is that kind of full range of what we call complementary therapies. Complementary because you do them alongside other things that people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things like glucosamine and chondroitin and omega-3 where there's really good evidence across wide populations that if you take glucosamine and chondroitin for things like joint pain, then a number of people will feel better. Omega-3s for the inflammatory has good evidence. Things like copper bracelets, magnetic mattresses, putting a potato in your pocket, wiping your joints with dock leaves. Some people will swear by them. There isn't a lot of evidence for them at the moment, but that doesn't mean they don't work for some people.
Right.
Sorry, you did just say put a potato in your pocket.
I was about to raise that as well.
I can tell you that one of the things that happens, because we're a charity, which means we're absolutely reliant on the gifts that people give us to be able to continue our work. So often when we send out to ask for money, what we get back is advice. And so almost invariably somebody will come in with a piece of advice. And a potato in your pocket is apparently, and I'm not even going to say this flippantly, is apparently an old Irish cure for arthritis that some people will swear by.
Well,
there is no evidence that carrying a potato in your pocket will affect your joints.
I was about to say, when you go out and you're a charity and you ask for money, people actually send back potatoes.
Yeah.
No, send back all sorts of advice on what we should be doing instead of asking for money.
Oh, right.
Well, everybody knows that Irish have like a particular affiliation with potatoes, so perhaps that's where it came from. But now a texter came in and just texted us in the last couple of minutes. So I was speaking to you with a very, very valid question. Nick, would you like to voice G's question?
G the Westie texted in, ask her if she thinks mobile phone texting can cause arthritis in years to come.
Well, I think that is one of the concerns that people have got, is that for people that are texting a lot, there are some people that are already starting to see RSI in thumbs in quite young adults, and anything that does the kind of occupational overuse is likely to also end up with a form of arthritis. So if you can use more than one finger, then that's going to put less pressure on one joint than another.
True.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And do you think
Read your fingers.
with laptop computers as well, do you think any chance of that could cause it? Because you usually stretch
There's a lot of RSI and whatnot.
Yeah, you stretch your hands out quite wide.
Yeah.
And
I think that with all the evidence around things like using keyboards or a lot of technology, and of course we all do it, is that if you can train yourself to do the pausing, not go at it 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, then you can manage it quite well yourself. So yes, there's an issue around that, and that wear and tear, osteoarthritis is wear and tear. So anything we do that causes a lot of wear on our joints is likely to increase our chances of arthritis.
cool.
For us in New Zealand, the bigger issues are some of our sports injuries, and unfortunately, and I'm always feel a little bit hypocritical when I say this, the fact that many of us are overweight. Because if you want to do the single biggest thing that you can do in New Zealand to reduce your problems with particularly osteoarthritis, the hip, knee type stuff, is to lose 6 kilos.
Of course, because
Really?
that's pressure on you.
Yeah,
Exactly. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And
So obviously we're not doing that to encourage people that are already anorexic, but for anyone that's overweight, 6 kilos is, do that and you reduce, for people who already have arthritis, it reduces the pain, reduces their chances of needing surgery. For people that don't yet have it, it decreases the likelihood. It's a preventative technique.
nice. And finally, what are you guys doing with Blackmores at the moment?
Blackmores have been a really important sponsor for us. They've made a commitment to support arthritis, and they give us some money from every one of their products that sell that have evidence around arthritis. So that's the joint formula, which is glucosamine and chondroitin, or their omega-3s. And those are two complementary therapies where we know there's evidence for benefit for people with arthritis. And that's for us, that means that we can keep people out in the community that are offering services. So for those of you who are worried about your hockey injuries and want to talk about what the knee and joint pain is, call our 0800 number, 0800 663 863, and you'll talk to an arthritis educator. That service is free because we get money from Blackmores and from other people in the community.
Excellent. What's that number again?
I've given it to you right. 0800 663 863. It's 0800 1 and 3.
There we go. Well, thank you very much for your time this morning, Sandra from Arthritis New Zealand. We really appreciate it, and you've enlightened us and made us very cautious about getting our arthritis checked early and making sure to use alternate fingers while texting. So thank you.
Okay. Have a good day.
You too.
You too.
See ya.
If you would like a single pass to Bass Clef at B Club happening this weekend, all you've got to do is text arthritis, send the message off to 8736. Don't worry about spelling, because technically even if someone asked me to spell arthritis, I probably couldn't spell it either.